everybody, and welcome back to yet a long-awaited episode of Remaking Sands of Time in a data pack. So, the topic that I want to talk about today are dead ends. That's what I want to focus on for this episode. But since it has been quite a wee while since we've had one of these episodes, I do want to give kind of a status report of all the updates that have been going on behind the scenes throughout the past few months or weeks or whatever, how long it's been. Sorry. So join me real quick inside an actual tomb. I am working on updating this to Minecraft 1.21.4. Now I know Minecraft 1.21.5 is just around the corner and probably actually released by the time this video gets out, because they have been rolling out pre-releases. There are some not major bugs, but very inconvenient issues with the most recent update of Minecraft. So you can see here I have my starter items, I'm in a new tomb, and if I try to place down a torch and then break it, you'll notice I get a different torch. Oh man, wow. Well, that's easy fix. It's just probably changing the item components, right? No, it's not. You see, so even items that have the same item component, like the torches and the carpet, will come into a new stack. So if I do data, get entity, myself, and then selected item, so that's what it has for the torch, right? It has the component can place on and then can break, because we need those for the players being in adventure. So if I go down to this torch, which is the one that we just broke, and run the same command, I'll get the same text. It's the same thing, but the game thinks they are different. So yeah, that bug has been reported here, but it hasn't seen a lot of love recently. So I'll definitely leave a link to this in the description, and if you guys could just like vote for it, maybe it will get some attention and be fixed by Mojang, which would be nice. Now, I'm not sure if this is also the cause for another issue that I'm noticing with the red key puzzle room. That is the one with the word game where you have 3 words related with a common theme. That puzzle only works sometimes? I don't know. I can't explain it. So I'm working on a temporary patch for that, for the updated versions of Minecraft, until that gets resolved as well. Another thing that I have fixed is an issue that was brought to me by one of you guys in the comments, where you could previously stack torches and then carpets on top of torches. If you placed a torch down on the floor or something, I could technically place this carpet above the torch and then climb up like that. So if I go into creative here, actually, like that. So that is fixed. You can see that as I am in adventure mode, I can place carpet down on these blocks, like the brown mushroom block and the packed mud, but no longer on mud bricks, unfortunately. So it's very restrictive on where you could place carpets, unfortunately. But that's also why I try to make a lot of for the same block. You can also place it on this stuff if you want, but you can't place it on like the stairs, these bricks. I don't think you can place it on any of the quartz bricks as well. So sorry about that, but that's the way it's gonna have to be. You can still place torches basically everywhere, even on like, well, I guess you can't place it on the bamboo or the blocks, but yeah, enough places where you should be able to place them wherever you want. And there was also an issue that could occur when a path segment like this would try to generate off of another path segment like this, if the 2 edges were lined up against a chunk border. As you can see here, if I turn on chunk borders, you can see there is a border right along this edge. What could potentially happen is this segment of path would possibly generate either left or right or even backwards, and even carve into what was already there, which was a little, unfortunate, broken. So yeah, I've made a special check case in the functions of the data pack to look for the chunk edges, and if that is where we are generating the next piece of path, instead I'll just generate this little decorative placement of blocks here to make sure that the connecting point coming out of the previous path segment matches into the next one, and the next one is generated just a few blocks into the next chunk segment here, and instead of generating on the edge like completely flush with this previous path segment. So yeah, that should fix this issue. I would like to do a little more testing with this to make sure it works the way I'm expecting every time, 100% of the time, but so far from what I've seen, it does well. Now, speaking of path generation, we've got some really interesting changes that I have been planning and thinking about and working on for a long time, so hopefully I could get those episodes coming to you within the next few weeks. It's gonna be exciting stuff. We're gonna make the tomb really fun to go through. And yeah, just some other stuff that I've been working on behind the scenes that I will reveal as time goes on, you know, all in good time. I can't stress the word time in these sentences because these things take time. So I'm sorry if it feels slow. The next episode that will be coming out will be a tutorial for how to create your own custom rooms and add them into the data pack. And actually with that, we'll transition into what I wanted to talk about in the first place for this episode. Dead end structures. So what do I mean by dead end structures? What are they and what are they used for? Well, let's see. So let's take this room, for example. This is I've seen this before, a little spiral staircase room. This is one of them. There's actually two of these. So there's this one. Oops, I must be flying the wrong way. And this one, they're exactly the same, but they're mirror of each other, right? So if you see in the middle section, this one comes out to the left, whereas this one comes out to, I'm sorry, that was the right. This one comes out to the left, of course, obviously. So if I have a room like this room right here, where we have 3 door frames, we have 1, 2, and 3, it would be helpful for us to be able to use this room in cases where we know that maybe we need this frame, this path coming out, and maybe this frame down here coming out and going into a different room, but we need to have this one walled off and lead nowhere. So that is where our good friend, the dead end structures, come into play. So here are some dead end structures that correspond to this room, and you know, this room as well. That's the flipped version. If we look at the structure block for the room itself, right, we've been over this. We have our namespace, and then the rooms folder size, and then where the edges are, and then just whatever name we want. So this has a door frame on the second edge, and that is on the top level. So we can see over here in this structure block is our namespace, colon, and then a completely different folder. This is the dead ends folder, but it is organized in the exact same way as our blueprints and our rooms folders, where we have our size, and then we have a edge. Now, the edge for these structures don't have, what are these things? The jigsaw blocks? Yes, of course. Because what we're doing here is this structure will generate at the exact same place as this structure. So we're actually taking advantage of a thing in the game, in our template pools, called a list element. So if we go to the Minecraft wiki, under the template pool page, if we scroll down, we have different types of pool elements. So this is what we're talking about here, the list pool element. This piece places multiple pool elements at once in the same place. Pieces lower in the list replace blocks of pieces higher in the list. The bounding box of the piece is the smallest box that contains all elements bounding boxes. Only the jigsaw blocks of the first element are used for connections, right? So that's why there are no jigsaw blocks in the dead end structures. So what does this look like in our data pack? Well, if we come back into our world here and look at the name of this room structure and copy this bad boy, then come into our data pack here, and we can just search for things using VS Code, and we can see that it appears 3 times. So It appears in the room template pool for a room that has a frame coming out of edge 2 on our top level and edge 8 of our bottom level. And so we could see that right here. We could see this element type, list pool element. So what's going on here is it will pick a structure located here. So we see this is the room 3x3. This is that exact room that we were just looking at. And then it also places another structure in the exact same location as it places this structure. And instead we're going to search from our dead ends and look for the corresponding dead end structure that removes these edges. So since this is the 2 top, 5 middle, wait, that doesn't look right. It should be, sorry, let me just rename this real quick. Live editing here. Good. Rooms 3x3, 2 top, 8 bottom. So the initial room has 3 frames, 2 top, 8 bottom, 11 middle. And then if we use this dead end structure, it will remove the door frame on edge 11 in the middle. It also removes edge 5, we can see that. So let's take a look at what this structure actually looks like. So that dead end structure is going to be this one in the middle here, so 5, 11. So this is used for both cases, again, in case if we're using the flipped version, flipped room. So we would need the edge on the opposite side. So most of these structures that you'll see floating above rooms are the dead end structures that correspond to a room. And you can make them look like whatever you want. So most of them have just ancient debris. Some dead end structures actually, since I know it's going to be a dead end structure, maybe I want to have some red sand be placed in these areas. So you may find that once in a while. But some structures, I get really fancy with it. So over here, we have, let's not take a look at that example. Let's go over further to the, I forget what this is called, like spawner intersection. Oh wow, I did name it spawner intersection. Nice, okay. So like a wall that looks like this, or maybe it's over here, or maybe 2 walls like that, or even just ancient debris walls, right? And the other thing that's interesting about dead end structures is it can be any arrangement that you want. So for example, with this, why I wanted to come to this specifically, is this dead end structure blocks off this edge right here and only this edge. This will be edge number 5, obviously. Whereas this one will be edge 2, right? So, but this structure up here blocks off edge 2 along with edge 8. If I needed to block off edge 2 and edge 8, I could alternatively create another dead end structure that just blocks off edge 8, and I can use the room, a list pool element with the room first, and then this dead end structure, and then the dead end structure for edge 8. Or I could just use a list pool element of the room and then this one dead end. There's no limit to how many dead end structures you can put or generate along with a room. And just real quickly here, one more example to wrap things up. We have this room, which has 3 door frames on the same level, but then this door frame, which is on an upper level. What I did here is I've actually created a dead end structure that built a little statue, a little man with a, I don't know, Egyptian little chin goatee thing. So sometimes when this room generates, if I need to generate it without a door frame here, what you'll see is, pretty much everything in the surrounding area, but then you'll also see this man generate instead. So yeah, there's a lot of flexibility with how your rooms will generate and how it will look specifically when a tomb is requesting a room of a certain size with certain door frames. And dead end structures are something I'll continue to talk about when I make videos going into how to add your own rooms and structures into the data pack, because it's super important. It's a super important part of rooms to be able to know how to use dead ends to make your rooms reusable and add some, again, variety into your rooms. But I do want to make sure I get all that information out, because that was one of the goals of this whole project, was to make a version of Sands of Time that not only works in vanilla, but also is open to you guys. So you guys can make your own version of the game by creating your own rooms and destinations and so on and so forth. So all of that in the next few episodes, and some more playtesting and updates and so on and so forth. So exciting stuff ahead. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.